No, I 20 assists and the ball's popping around tonight, and let me look down at the numbers, but 9 turnovers and a couple were careless, so I didn't like that, but the ball's popping around, and I thought that part was good. It's something we've been emphasizing and working on a lot, and we've had some nights where that's really happened, and that happened for us tonight, and that was good. The rebounding, 46-29, that's the kind of stuff that gets me warm and fuzzy inside as a coach. So you like that, and it wasn't just one guy. I mean, certainly Ches with 10, and that's been a huge emphasis. We were being playful after the game, but that's been a huge emphasis for his development as a player. So to look down and see that he has 10 is phenomenal. But it's multiple guys, right? I mean, Jeremiah has 6, Victor has 6, Odie has 8. A bunch of guys with 4. I thought David was better chasing down defensive rebounds tonight, more engaged on the defensive glass, getting those long ones. So I was pleased with the rebounding. There's lapses defensively. That segment in the first half, we don't get back twice. That frustrates you. And I thought there were some lapses defensively in the second half. We weren't ready when the ball came in bounds, and that's something we take a lot of pride on. So, again, we've talked a lot about just trying to continue to be more consistent. So there's some things there that weren't good. But at the end of the day, it's good to get a win and get a little better feeling than we had leaving here on Sunday a couple days ago.
When you come out shooting that way from 3, do you just lean into it, maybe throw out whatever the game plan was and tell them to keep shooting it?
No, I as I've told you guys before, it's always for me. I mean, certainly when balls go in, guys, you're going to feel better. I mean, that's not rocket science. You guys all know that. But it's always to me about quality of shot. I didn't think we took bad shots. I really didn't. I thought Jeremiah, Landers and Jeremiah make some early that really kind of opened the game up for us. But I thought we took pretty good shots, and I thought it's because we were trying to play the right way and share the ball in the open court. And when you do that, you're going to give yourself a better chance to make them, and then you're going to give your chance a better chance to get the offensive rebound when you don't. And there were a couple longer possessions, but we kept moving it, kept trying to attack, and we made some shots at the end of possessions too because we were playing the right way. So it's not always going to go in like that. I get that. It hasn't always gone in like that this year, but I did think we were playing the right way.
What's it mean to have Josh Reed make all 3 of his?
Yeah, and Josh should have mentioned that. I mean, Josh in the first half hits those 2, gets the big offensive rebound in the 2. And, again, I've said it all along. Josh and Dan are much more skilled offensive players than I think people have been able to see. And so you see him come out and shoot the ball like that. That's not a fluke. He's a big-time shooter.
You held Brandon Johnson to just 2 points, 3 rebounds tonight. Came in averaging 13 and 9. What did you guys do so well to really take him out of the scenario tonight?
Well, we were concerned about his shooting. He's a terrific catch-and-shoot shooter. Now, he got a couple looks that he's made on tape, and so don't think it's just what we did. He got a couple clean looks from 3 that just didn't go. So, I think sometimes you got to put that in perspective. But overall, you look down and you hold the other team to the 34% from the field, and you guard the 3-point line pretty well. You defensive rebound at a higher rate. You're going to be pleased overall with the defensive performance. But you guys know me; I want it more consistent, and I don't want those mental lapses and that type of thing. But Brandon Johnson's a good player. He's going to make some of those that he got tonight. R.J. Felton, really good player. He missed a couple clean looks. Javon Small was tough. He was tough, and he made tough ones. I hit some step backs, some contested shots, and he was good in the ball screen.
You guys had 20 assists on 31 makes. DeJulius had 12. How key was him just being a leader and spreading the ball around when the guys were hot?
Yeah, I think, one thing I don't want us to ever take for granted is, David's value to this team and watching him grow in the role that he's in. And we go as David DeJulius goes. We know that. And I don't mean we go as he scores. We go as he goes, and he's really growing in that leadership role. It's been really neat to see. And he's learning that his impact on our team is so much greater than any one thing on the floor. You're seeing nights, over the course of the last month or so where he impacts winning by defending and setting the tone out front defensively and taking on challenges. You're seeing nights where he impacts winning by scoring. You're seeing nights tonight where he impacts winning by finding the right guy. And I think that's what we need him to be. And he's really growing into a role where the only thing he cares about is this program taking steps forward, this team winning, and he's willing to kind of do whatever it takes. And that's been neat. And, you know, I can't state enough how much we value that and how much we need that from him.
It's probably natural when shots are going in that maybe it elevates defense on the other end. Do you notice that with this team, and is there a trick to maybe not having those two necessarily married together? I'm sure you'd like them to be, but
Yeah, to me, the most important play is always the next play, and we can't be circumstantial in basketball to be great. No matter what happens, we got to try to win the next possession. So defensively, it can't matter what just happened. That's always a fight, you know, with young people that are still trying to learn what it's about. This team's still got some work to do there, but they're growing there. They're growing there, and I always say my favorite wins as a coach are when you shoot in 20s or 30% because you can't throw it in the ocean and you still win because your team just defends and rebounds. And you know, we still got a lot. I mean, obviously we won the game and that's all great and everything, but we still got a lot of room to grow in terms of how we approach every possession.
Landers gets 20 and 10. He said he'd just soon play before noon and get it over with. But if he's getting 20 and 10 at 9 o'clock at night, maybe you guys should keep these late night games. Like playing them late? Does it matter to you?
Guys, I like playing basketball. You guys want to play at 6 in the morning? Let's throw it up and go. I don't care, and I don't know what Landers said in here. I'm sure he was having fun, but whenever they say the ball's tipping up, we need to be ready to compete. That's what comes with putting the jersey on.
We look down at the stat sheet, 33-5 on points on the bench. Jeremiah Davenport had a great night off the bench, 16 points. What did you think of his performance as well? I mean, 33-5 off the bench is a big reason to why this game was the way it was.
Yeah, like I said it earlier, you know, he makes some shots early that I think lift us, you know, and I thought they were the right shots. You know, we're a dangerous team offensively when he's in a rhythm offensively and making shots. I think everybody knows that. I've been challenging him to make an impact defensively and on the backboards because I know that over the course of time he's such a good shooter. If he plays the right way, shots are going to go in. He did that tonight. He played the right way. I thought he was pretty dang good defensively. You know, he gives up the middle drive, I think one of his first possessions for a layup. And after that, I can't think of a time that I was really disappointed defensively, and he was in pretty good position. I loved that he stepped up to try to take a charge. You know, I saw him competing on the boards, and I think we need him to be impactful. He knows that. One thing that needs to just be made clear, man, there's not a kid that cares more about Cincinnati basketball than Jeremiah Davenport, man. He bleeds it. He loves it. He's doing everything he can to try to impact winning. And 2 out of the last 3 games, I think he's starting to play great, and I think it's coming for him. So I'm proud of the way he's handled some stretches where he hasn't played as well as he wants.
Two more questions. I don't know how you felt going into the season, but it seems like the rim protection, Odie and Vic, is maybe a little bit better than I expected or people on the outside expected. What are you getting from them, and how did it match up with what you expected?
Victor Locken's a real rim presence, guys. I mean, you know, it's not just his height, and he's got some height, but it's his length. I mean, he has real rim presence, and as he continues to improve positionally on defense, his rim presence becomes greater and greater. You know, he's got such a knack for basketball and such good instincts that sometimes they get him in trouble because he tries to go make a play that he shouldn't make because he needs to stay solid and protect the basket. And he's doing that less and less. He's reaching less and less. He's getting out of position less and less. And then his rim presence is becoming greater and greater. So I think some of his rim presence, and I do think it's significant, is because he keeps getting more sound positionally because it's there, but he hasn't always been in position to make that happen. And then, Odie's really improved in that area. I mean, that's an area that he needed to improve in. He's taken steps. I still need a little bit more, but you do like it when he makes, gets a big block or makes a guy miss, rotating over. He's improved there. Still got some work to do, as does Vic.
You held them to 55. Their lowest previous was 50, but obviously a great output there. SMU and Tulane, it was I think 97-88 Tulane. So obviously you're playing a team that again that can score a ton. I know you're looking ahead here, but defense will be crucial again, I would assume.
Yeah, and I follow the league closely. Like, if there's a game in our league that's on, I watch it. So I've certainly watched SMU. I watched them. I think the only thing you could watch during Christmas was the Diamond Head Classic. It was the only college basketball on, so I watched all those games over Christmas break. And I've seen them now a handful. Watched them against Houston. We were preparing for the Houston game. I've seen them now 5 or 6 times. But I'll be honest, I had to ask in the locker room who we played next. So I have not shifted gears yet to preparation for SMU. We'll get in there tonight and grade this film. We'll start that SMU preparation either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. We have a couple guys on the staff that are already on that, have been on that for days, but I'm probably not prepared to talk about them yet because I haven't dove into it.
Thanks, Coach. Did you know it was 90s night?
I'm sorry?
Did you know it was 90s night?
Tonight? I did not.
You got to go to 90s jam.
Yeah, I mean, that's like childhood, man. I got a lot of go-to 90s jams. Picking one would probably be unfair. I will say, in the 90s, I pride myself with the guys that I know all the hip-hop in the 90s, but I loved Mariah Carey. That everybody should know that.
2010?
Yeah, I heard you arguing for it. when
Man,
you came off the
politicking
floor.
for that, it's incredible. I ain't gonna lie, I worked hard tonight for them boards. That was my whole mindset coming out. I told John Newman 10 boards before the game. That was my main focus.
All right. Statcast has it. We'll give it to you. 20
Yes, sir. I need
official. David, you guys come out hitting like that. Can you tell right away, like, this is going to be a game where we just need to keep firing up?
Yeah, we had it going, starting off the game, but our emphasis was just to keep going because, in the past we have had times where we had lapses after we had strong starts. So it was good to be able to sustain that for 40 minutes.
If you get Jeremiah hitting and Josh hitting in addition to you, how many teams can stop you think?
Not many. I feel like when everybody clicking on all cylinders, we're one of the best teams in the nation.
David, it seemed like the ball was kind of moving around well tonight. You finished with the team high 12 assists, a double-double. You were 1 assist off from your career high. What was working on the offensive end to really get that ball moving so well?
Really, guys, the head man on the ball in transition. First and foremost, starting out with the rebound, getting a clean rebound, the head man on the ball. And it started from there. And then we were able to kind of get in transition, make simple passes, and the guys were able to get in the lane and find the guys on the outside. So we have an opportunity to get good shots like that. You see guys have the games that they had tonight.
You guys were able to impose your will after a game like Houston. Was that something that you guys talked about in the locker room? Like, come out here, set the tempo, and just keep it going for 40 minutes?
Oh, for sure. I mean, after a heartbreaking loss like that, you just don't want to dwell on it and let it start a bad streak for you. So you got to come back and impose your will on the next team ahead of you.
Hey, Dave, do you want to
No, you got it.
That man fat, bro. He carry extra some wings. Hold on. What's like the most assists in the game here? I just peeped. You had 11 assists and 12 assists and 11 points. It's crazy.
Crazy, right?
Was that a mindset for you to come in? Did you feel like they were keen on you?
No way he felt like Chris Paul today. No way.
Not
even say that.
Crazy thing, like, I haven't been scoring the ball well the last couple of games, but my whole emphasis, the one thing I felt bad about in the beginning of the season was my assist was low. And, I'm a team-first guy, so I was not rocking with that at all. And also for the next level, at my height, I'm going to have to be able to run the team. So I'm for sure grateful and happy to have games like this, but, I can't take credit at all. Josh was getting out in transition, hitting threes, Landers hitting threes, Jeremiah hitting threes, and they made my job a lot easier for sure.
Did you think you had a chance to keep that up in the second half? It was 10 out of 14 on threes in the first half, and then you cooled off, if you want to call that cool. But That's 71% on threes. You're going to win a lot of games.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for sure. And the crazy thing, we got a coach that preaches next play mentality, and he don't even focus on the shots going in and out. He just focuses on the process of getting the right shots, playing hard defensively, rebound the ball, sharing the ball on offense, and whether if it go in or go out, we'll live with the next play. So, but it was good to be on the good side today of the scoring for sure.
Josh Reed really came in and made an impact early there with the 2 quick threes, and then he got downhill and attack there for the opportunity to make it an 8-point run for himself there. Just talk about the progression you have seen from him over this season to up to date.
Oh, man. I want Bearcats fans to, if they haven't already, to appreciate Josh Reed, because I feel like he's going to have a great career.
Locked in.
I feel like he's one of those guys where you might look at him, he might not 360 dunk or dunk on somebody, but you look in the stat sheet or you look on the sheets the stats that's not even on this score sheet that we preach and practice, which is SGPs, which is scoring generated plays, which is getting to the board circles, being in the right spots on both ends of the court, and he always leading in them categories. So he's a heck of a player, and he's only going to get better from here.
Maybe this is normal, but do you guys feel like your defense picks up when you're hitting them on the other end?
Oh, for sure. I feel like that's any team. You got it going on the offensive end. It's only going to motivate you to play D, to get back to that end and get more shots up and get the crowd going some more and just get more stops.
You guys like these late night games? I think this.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of them. I'd rather get my game out the way before noon. Got the rest of the day to get right.
I'm with you.
I like going home when the sun up.
What about this 90s and 9 business? Did you know that when they showed people doing the Carlton, they had your head on it?
Yeah, somebody tapped me and showed me that. That was cool to see that for sure.
So all I need y'all to do is just post that I had 10 boards.
20 to 10.
All I care about.